Guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. This YouTube channel or on this series, I'm gonna be making or teaching you to develop webs. If you haven't seen the previous video, I am Lucas Nelson, a senior web developer, or you can call me a software engineer. I have over 10 years of experience in this field. So in this episode, I'm gonna be showing you the basics of HTML. In the later in the series, we're gonna be learning CSS, JavaScript, and other things. So at first, I recommend you to create a folder as you see at this top right corner. I have an HTML series tutorial. You can name it other names. That's not a requirement. So that's not a problem. You can name it whatever you want. Then there's this part where you need to download an code editor, which is a code editor I'm gonna be using, or my favorite code editor is Visual Studio Code. You can use Atom or Codebox if you are using iOS or whatever you want. So it's not a problem, but I'm gonna be personally using Visual Studio Codes. So I'm gonna be opening up Visual Studio Codes. When first you start, you're gonna see this welcome screen. This sentence might not be coming to you because if it's your first time opening it, just press here and open the folder. Here I have an introduction folder. I like to make things be to cleaner or be nicer, so I use divisions. The introduction is the first episode of this tutorial, obviously, so that's why I named this folder introductions. In the introduction folder, we can create a new file and name it index.html. So inside index.html, by the way, index.html is not a requirement, it's a file name. That index is a file name that we use to create our home pages. It's the first thing that our servers, when we host this website, or when we even are running it locally, this is gonna be the first file to be launched. So HTML is a file extension of HTML. You can use HTML or HTM. Doesn't have that much difference. I personally don't have any problems using it. So as of extension, I have live server here in the HTML CSS snippet installed, which are not a requirement. You can rock without them, but I recommend you download them if we are using Visual Studio Code. So let's start. So there's a shortcut like the exclamation marks that we use to have the basics of the coding stuff, the basics of HTML pop-up. So we don't actually need this. Let's start from here. This indicates that this file is an HTML5 document, or it's showing that it is made with HTML5. This is not for you mostly, but it is for the browser to identify which version of HTML you are using. If you didn't know, HTML5 is a version of HTML that's the newest HTML version. So you need this to declare that you are using that. Then there's the second thing. We use greater and less than signs to enclose our tags. There are two types of tags, by the way. There are empty and container tags. So we are going to be seeing them in detail later, but all the tags needs to be enclosed inside a greater than and less than sign. So let's start by our first and the most important tag when we are writing HTML code. So HTML, if you press this, it will finish it up for you in VS Code. But let me show you what I mean by container tag. For example, this is a container tag. So it has an opening and a closing tag. Also, I will be showing you in detail later. If you have seen it later, there's something called the lang and en. This is just saying that we are using an English language that doesn't create much difference as much as I know. I don't use it much. Then we have the head, which is the head is where we have all the technical information needed for the system to work. Actually, it doesn't need all the technical information. You might be able to make it work, but if you want to connect it with external files or have meta included, you need to have the head. Then we have our body part. The body part is where the all the main code is route, or everything that's gonna be displayed is being put in here. That's why we need the body tag. So okay, in the head tag we have the title tag. The title tag is one of the tags that can be used, by the way, to create or to add a title to the top of the page. So let's add a title. Let's say introduction, introduction HTML tutorial, tutorial. So okay, here we have the title. So we can go live. When I say we go live, I mean it's gonna open a live tab. So okay, now you see here that it says introduction HTML tutorial. So to introduction to HTML tutorial, that's what we wrote here. So that's one. Then we have the body. Inside the body, everything we write in here is gonna be displayed. Now, in this episode, I will be only showing you the difference between the two types of tags, empty and container tags, and I will be showing you some basic tags. In the next episode, we are going to be seeing a lot of tags, and we will be building a small Hello World page, and I might show you a little bit of shortcuts. So it's not that important. So okay, let's have an h1 tag. H1, close this and it comes. So let's say hi. Let's say I like to change up things, so let's say I like pizza. Okay, so if I save this, then this is gonna reload. So I like pizza. That is what we wrote right here in the H1 tag. So there's other tags that are called image tags, hyperlinks, that we are gonna see in the next episode. So right now, to show you what it is gonna be. So give me a minute and I'll be what now. Let's move my file to here. So let's open my file and let's go to downloads. Let's use this. Let's use my logo. So this is my logo, which is on my profile picture of this channel. So okay, let's add this into introduction. Then let's close it. It is just to demonstrate what an empty tag and an container tag is. So it's not important for you to know what everything does here. So just copy what I do and I will be explaining it later. So because this directory is right here, you can use just in.png, but you can change the width and height, but that we don't need to do so. So if we save this, come back to our browser, we see our picture. So I'm here. I want to show what to demonstrate what it is. So up until now, except this, we have used container tags, which have an opening and a closing tag. So let's see here in the h1 tag, this is the opening tag. It doesn't have a backward slash. The reason for that is that if it has a backward slash, that means it is the closing tag. But if it doesn't have that, it means it is the opening tag. In the middle of it, the content that is in here is going to be what's going to be displayed. But in the empty content, in the empty tags, it doesn't have a closing tag nor an opening tag. It's just one tag. So image src is an attribute that also I'm going to be explaining in the next episode when we will be adding images and other things. So it's n.png is the name of our file that we have right here. So this file is being displayed on our page because of we added it using source. src stands for source. So this is a difference between container and empty tags. If you have any questions, you can comment down below and I'll be free to answer any questions that we have in the next episode. So we are going to be learning about h1, the h tags or the header tags. So thank you for your time. Bye.